Hello, welcome back to my channel. So hopefully you can hear me over Bub, who is snoring in my arms. And so, as most of you know, if you've been to my channel before, I just had a baby. So I have a 3-week-old baby in my arms. And if you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. Hello, my name is Kavina and I am a brand new mummy to my little baby Jamie here. So in terms of the videos that I normally post here, I normally post things on thrifting, buying things secondhand, going to Costco, going to Kmart, and sharing my shopping adventures on a thrifted budget with you. But because obviously I am baby focused at the moment, I'm going to be sharing with you basically the pregnancy experience, the birth experience, and the new life as a mom experience. I'm still going to be doing the thrifted life type videos in terms of posting things that I've thrifted, but I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of videos on thrifting, how to thrift what you need for your baby's room, because everything for baby is thrifted or gifted, and including all of his clothes, which are very, very cute. But anyways, let's get stuck into today's video, which is what to bring to the hospital. So in terms of what to bring to the hospital, my husband and I were pretty minimalistic about it, and we're really glad that we did, because you don't need a whole lot when you go to hospital. Obviously, it depends on how long you're going to be there and how long, what kind of birth you end up having. Some people have a planned C-section, some people have an unplanned C-section, some people have a vaginal birth, and depending on what kind of birth you have, you might have slightly different needs. I had a planned C-section, and what we brought to the hospital is a little carry-on suitcase each. So my husband had one and I had one. Now what we did is we packed what we thought we would need for ourselves and the baby, bearing in mind that the hospital does provide a few things. And so I'll go through what we brought and what the hospital brought, and potentially what not to bring, because there were a couple things that we didn't need and a couple things that we went back and got when we were at the hospital. So starting off with just some basics. We did not bring any baby. Yeah, I know. No baby. We did not bring any baby dummies or soothers. And so the hospital luckily ended up giving us one of these, because we're okay with using dummies and soothers or pacifiers. But we didn't think to bring them with us. And so this is one thing that I did not bring that I definitely wish I would have. It wasn't a problem though, because the hospital ended up giving us some of theirs, and we actually like the one at the hospital had better. So that was one thing that we did not bring that we wish we had. And then one thing that I brought that I really didn't need, to be quite honest, and this is one of those hit or miss type things. We brought everything that you would need for breastfeeding. So breast pump, bottles, nursing pads, nipple shields, etc. Now, I don't regret bringing all of these things. We just kept it in a bag and it stayed in the bag, just because you don't really know what kind of problems you may or may not encounter when trying to breastfeed, and you don't know when your milk's going to come in. So for me, my milk didn't come in until the very last day I was at the hospital, so I didn't need any of that stuff. And in terms of pumping, I was using the hospital's pump while I was there, and so I didn't have to use my own. And so I didn't need any of the pumping stuff that I brought with me, but I couldn't have predicted that they would have a machine that I could use, and they encourage you to use that one. And so particularly during the pandemic times, it might be better to just use your own. So I don't regret bringing my pump. I still have yet to use my pump now that I've been home for nearly a month. But I definitely, I just didn't end up needing any of like the nipple shields or nursing pads and things like that. But you just can't predict that kind of thing. So in terms of nursing pads, nipple shields, pump, bottles, etc., feel free to bring that stuff if you want to, but definitely worth inquiring with your hospital to see if they provide those kinds of things in terms of a pump that you can use, shields to help you. I don't know if the hospital would really have nipple shields, so that might be a good thing to bring. And then nursing pads, you can bring them, if you anticipate leaking a lot. But again, I'm nearly a month in and I haven't used my nursing pads yet. So it just leaks into my nursing bra, and that works just fine for me. So I have a few nursing bras that I just alternate between and just clean so that I don't smell like old milk all the time. Then in terms of toiletries, I kept it pretty minimal. So we had basically deodorant, which I highly, highly recommend because after the birth, no one really told me this, but you can end up getting pretty bad night sweats after the birth. And so I'd wake up multiple times during the night, since you're obviously awake with your bub. But I'd wake up in the night like just drenched in sweat. And so I definitely needed my speed stick to keep me from smelling like old milk and sweat. So I use this a lot. And then I had the basic stuff like a toothbrush, toothpaste, etc. I'm just seeing what's like all behind me. Yep, so toothpaste. I had some hand sanitizer just in case they didn't have some, because after all, it is pandemic times and I just don't want to touch anything. And so I brought my own, but they did have hand sanitizer in the room for us. Then in terms of toiletries, I just had a lipstick and an eyeliner because that's pretty much all I wear now. Pretty much the entire pregnancy, I was lucky if I could get makeup on because I was so sick and so tired that I couldn't put on my face basically. Whereas before I did have like, foundation and all the stuff that I put on. Now I'm just like, as long as I have some eyeliner and I have some lipstick so I don't look like a zombie, I'm cool with that. And it worked for me because I didn't have to bring all this stuff for like makeup removal, because this just quite frankly fades away once I'm done with it, and my lips just stay nice and red and I never wipe it off really. So works for me. So lipstick, eyeliner, but basically whatever you feel you need to feel presentable. So for some people that might be nothing, some people that might be many things. And if it's many things, I definitely want to bring like makeup remover and all that stuff. Because you can't guarantee when you're gonna be able to wash your face and stuff like that. So makeup remover pads definitely be handy. All right, so then in terms of food and drink, the hospital provided all of the food and drink basically that you would need for meals and whatnot. And so I was well fed and well nourished in terms of beverages as well, but well hydrated rather. But I did end up bringing my Costco Contigo flask and my flavor water, my Crystal Light flavor water, because I hate drinking water and I have to flavor it. It's the only way I can have it. And so this ended up being a lifesaver for me because they did have like a cup and a pitcher of water for me to keep like pouring into and drinking. But because when you have a C-section, at first all movements are a little bit difficult. And so, even lifting the pitcher and pouring the water and trying to squirt some of this into my little cup of water, it was just so much easier just to squirt this into my Contigo thing, and then my husband would fill up with water, and then I would just drink this whole thing, and then he would repeat. And it was just easier for me to just be reaching for this because I could, have it with me in the bed and just close it and know that it's not going to leak anywhere. Whereas obviously I couldn't do that with a cup of water, and getting out of bed was hard at first for the first 3 days. And so the less I had to reach for things, the more I could just tuck things in the bed with me, is easier. So highly recommend water bottle if you have something like this. Then in terms of clothes, we went very minimalistic because I pretty much heard from everyone that you basically just stay in your pajamas. So I took that to heart, and all I brought were basically a set of pajamas and a backup set of pajamas just in case he pooped or puked or spit up on me. Luckily he didn't, and so I didn't end up using the second set, but I did use this set, which I wore the entire hospital stay. So these are just some very thin pajama bottoms, which again, I'm glad that I brought those and not anything warmer because I was not anticipating how hot I would be. I honestly think I could have been wearing shorts and it would have been even better. But I just wore these hospital pants, just wore these pajama pants in the hospital the entire time I was there. And they just have a very, very generous stretchy waistband, which I wanted because I didn't know how quickly I would deflate in terms of my pregnancy bump. and I want it to be really gentle on the skin, so that it wouldn't aggravate my C-section scar. And so these end up being perfect. They're very big and flowy, super comfy and super airy, so it's perfect. And then this tank top, which has a built-in bra, which I didn't use it for the bra purposes. I was using it just for the fact of the extra layers to catch any like milk coming through, so you wouldn't be able to see. I ended up, it's a tank top, but I ended up wearing it and tucking it in like this and wearing it as a tube top, because basically every time I need to feed baby, I would just drop this down and feed baby that way. So it's so much easier than trying to like deal with the straps and like take them off my arms each time I tried to feed the baby. I just very quickly got tired of that. And so I just wore like a tube top like this, which you can probably see from the last video that I posted, because I was wearing this in my what to expect for a C-section video, because I filmed this in the hospital while I was wearing this. So definitely loved this very simple tank top for breastfeeding purposes. So I recommend, like, if you have a tank top or a tube top, that might be the easiest thing, because I did have my nursing bra. So I bought two types of nursing bras. So one that's like the actual bra that has the snaps, so you can just lift the cups down. And then I had these ones, which are kind of like sports bras, and then you just pull the one boob side at a time down. So I ended up liking these much better, because your nipples are quite sore when you first start breastfeeding. Like, everything is sore, to be quite honest, but having a baby constantly sucking on your nipple, I found that the abrasion against a maternity bra with the cups was a little bit more abrasive than this just like cotton sports bra thing. So I still now, 3.5 weeks later, prefer this to my other maternity bra. All right, so then in terms of nipple pain, so for that segue, basically the nurses gave me this Lancino nipple pain cream thing, which you can put on your breasts, and then you don't have to wash it off or anything. Baby can latch on and it doesn't impact him in any way. And so I ended up really liking this because, like I said, your boobs do hurt quite a bit. Oh yeah. The only other thing that I brought was just a very thin gown to wear over top of my pajamas, so I'd look a little bit more presentable. The thing I brought was a sweater in case it got cold, and baby's first outfit, which you probably saw already in my baby announcement. If not, then I'll try and repost it. But basically, I just brought this Hello World swaddle with a matching cap for him, and a few outfits. I think I brought about 4 to 6 outfits with slightly various sizes, because I wasn't sure obviously how big he would be. So I had a couple preemie outfits, I had a couple newborn outfits, and then a couple slightly bigger outfits just in case he ended up being a really chunky baby. He ended up being a normal sized baby. He was 2.81 kilos, which is roughly about just over 6 pounds. And so the preemie clothes actually fit him. So right now he fits into the preemies still, nearly a month later, and will probably fit into the newborn clothes pretty soon. They fit him now, they're just a little bit, he just swims in them a little, so either worked, and quite frankly you can just swaddle at the hospital if you need to. We did also bring a couple burp cloths with us, and we're glad that we did, because we definitely ended up using those a ton. And so burp cloths definitely bring with you, because you're burping him constantly, and you know, there's all kinds of spit up that you can potentially deal with. And we often use a burp cloth to lay on the bed, and then change him on the bed so we didn't have to get up. So multi-purpose, we definitely use that a lot, just so that we wouldn't get pee on ourselves. So that was definitely a bonus. The hospital gave us a bunch of at least 2 to 3 days worth of diapers and wipes. Since we were there for a week and we thought we might be there for a week, we brought some of our own as well. So we brought a whole heap of diapers, like 40 to 50 diapers, and a pack of wipes. And we're definitely glad that we did, because we went through those really, really quickly. So we realized very quickly how many diapers your baby can go through. we're going through, for your reference, about 6 to 8 a day, sometimes 10 to 12 on a very intense day. And so, and that's also because I have a bub who just hates any kind of wet or dirty nappy. So he'll literally pee, scream like a banshee because he wants it changed, and then we'll change it. And then 2 seconds later, he'll do an epic poo and then scream like a banshee because he wants that changed. So we'll often do a couple changes right in a row, just because he'll be in the midst of bowel movements, but wants them done in the midst of bowel movements, which means we also have to be careful of flying pee. So my husband's gotten peed on a few times, so we have to be careful because he literally will cry in the middle of a pee or a poo, so he won't be done. So we have to try and delay checking his diaper in the midst of the screaming to make sure he actually finishes before we change it. So that's why we go through a lot, but that's also why we're going to be doing cloth diapers, and I'll be doing a video on our cloth diaper journey once we actually start. We're just waiting for him to be 4 kilos because we need him to be a bit chunkier for the cloth diapers. So that is everything that I think that we brought to the hospital. Oh, actually one more thing. I did bring a whole heap of pads and a whole heap of high-waisted underwear because of the C-section. I knew I would bleed a lot. I knew the underwear would need to be high-waisted so it wouldn't irritate the scar. But I also brought disposable underwear. I think it was Always brand or Depends brand. I'll insert a picture of the one that I used, but it was brilliant. So I bought a pack of them. I think there's a pack of 10 at my local pharmacy, and I just exclusively wore those. So every day I'd put my adult diaper on, wear it throughout the day, I'd bleed into that, there'd be no leaks, I wouldn't have to worry about changing pads or getting blood on my underwear or anything like that. I would just wear it all day and then throw out the underwear, and it worked brilliantly. So I'm definitely glad that I brought that because I ended up not needing my underwear and not needing my disposable pads, which just made less work for me at the hospital, and less laundry when I came home because obviously I didn't have a whole big pile of underwear in my suitcase to wash when I got here, which was brilliant. It was just wear your underwear, throw out your underwear, and it was just so much easier, especially considering how heavily you're bleeding. It's just easier if you can just chuck it. Then I also had my phone and my charger and a extension power bar so that I could plug it into the wall but then have the cord go all the way to my bed, because again, you're not really getting out of bed at first too much or moving around too much, so it's easier if everything is accessible easily from your bed. And because I wear contacts, I brought my contacts case and contact liquid, my glasses and my glasses case, and then I also brought a bunch of snacks, so little chocolates, little granola bars. I had a giant bag of mandarin oranges and some bananas, and we ate all of the mandarins and oranges obviously the first couple of days before they went bad basically. And so it was just helpful to have constant munchies available, just because the meals were excellent and they provide us with lots of stuff, but you're just so hungry while you're breastfeeding, and so I just wanted to make sure I had healthy options for me. So my husband and I were eating all these granola bars or muesli bars and random fruit that we brought with us, which was very nice. So definitely recommend some snacks because they are handy to have because you're basically just in a room together looking after your baby. So if you can have some snacking options, it's always a good thing. And we also brought swaddles for him, which we're very glad we did because he definitely needed the swaddles. And we also brought some blankets once the nurses showed us how to swaddle with a blanket. And so my husband went back and got blankets because those ended up being very handy because our bub is so much better when he's swaddled. And so we have zipper swaddles that we brought with us, but we also got the blankets and learned how to swaddle blanket style. So, which was way easier than we thought it was. It was really hard when we tried to learn from YouTube, but when the nurses showed us, we were like, we got it. And so, especially, I don't even think it was that easy. I think it's just that once you've done it like 10, 20 times a day, you get swaddling. So we are now expert swaddlers. So that is everything that I brought. So I'll do my best to list down below everything that I brought and links to some of the items that I referenced because I got a lot of it on Amazon. And so it might be easy for you if you want to get those things as well. So thank you so much for watching. That is everything that I brought with me to the hospital. And I will be doing some more videos on what the first 6 weeks is like with Bub once he is 6 weeks old, and his thrifted outfits and what feeding him is like and all that good stuff. So if you have any questions about breastfeeding, bottle feeding, diaper changes, clothing, laundry, etc., I am now well versed in all those things. So feel free to comment down below if you have any questions, and I'm happy to do a video. I just plan on just posting things as I experience them. So if you have any questions, no question to me is a silly question. I had so many questions, and I'm very lucky I had such supportive midwives and a supportive husband. And between all of those supports, I'm feeling pretty good. So, so far motherhood is definitely agreeing with me and little Bubby here. And I will see you all very, very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!